Alright, good morning, Everyday Math. We are on page 330 in your math journal, so please turn there while I am giving today's joke. So, pretty short joke today. What do calendars eat? Calendars eat dates, of course. Dates. Dates are a type of fruit, and dates are also found on a calendar, if you did not know. Anyway, hopefully you are almost there on page 330 while you are watching this video. Again, hopefully this one will be pretty short. We have kind of a new idea, but it involves our distributive property. I don't think we're going to actually use the distributive property so much right now, but it will become important probably in the next lesson. So what we're talking about is combining like terms. So when we have something called an algebraic expression, it looks something like this, right there where I just marked. So we have 4y plus 2x minus 7y. That could be an algebraic expression. The reasons it is algebraic is because we have variables. Remember, a variable is a letter. It's what we use in place of a number. So we can plug in numbers to our variables. So when we're combining like terms, we're dealing with parts inside of our algebraic expression. So for example, when we look here, 4y is a term, 2x is a term, and negative 7y is a term. If we had just a random number, we could say 2 as a term, or x squared could be a term. A term is just kind of one set of numbers. So we know that 4y is a term because there's multiplication happening in between it. We write them next to each other and it means multiplication. But when we have the multiplication there, that means it's one whole term. Just like how we have the squared here, it's connected to the x. They need to be connected for it to make sense. The same with all of these terms. When they're connected, they're one unit. They act together, and in math we call that terms. So the topic today is combining like terms. When we have an algebraic expression like this one, how can we simplify it? How can we combine the terms that are similar? So going along with this example of 4y plus 2x minus 7y, I'm first going to underline our terms. So I'm going to say one line for anything with a y and two lines for an x. So we have two like terms, or two similar terms here, that we can simplify down. We can break it down because they're similar. We can't break down the y and the x because they're different. You can't combine different terms, only like terms. Okay, so that means we are dealing with these two terms. So we have a positive 4y and we have negative 7y. So the way I think about it is just treat, when we have those multiplication numbers, just treat them like normal numbers. We have a positive 4 and we have a negative 7. We just have y's attached to them. So when we have a positive 4 and a negative 7, we think of it now as 4y minus 7y. Or you could think about it as negative 7y plus 4y. So we can combine them together to simplify it, and we would end up, if we were going to do 4 minus 7 or negative 7 plus 4, we're going to end up with negative 3, and then the y tags along. So now we've simplified it, we have shortened our term, so now we have 2x minus 3y. And that's simplified. We can't break it down anymore. Okay, so that's a pretty challenging problem. Let's look at number 1 on your worksheet. So the directions say to simplify each expression by rewriting it as a single term. So here we're not given multiple different terms. We're given two similar terms. So we have 6y and 13y. And they're the same terms. So we can simplify them together. So we have addition going on here, 6y plus 13y. 6 plus 13 equals 19. So we have the y tag along, so we have 19y. And it really is just as easy as that. you're really looking at your variables. If you have similar variables, then you can combine them into like terms. However, if you have different variables, you cannot. So let me think of just another example off the top of my head. I'm going to do 10x minus 7y plus 4 minus 2x minus y. Alright, so the first step that I'm going to do, because I'm just starting out, just learning, is I'm going to underline our terms. So I'm going to do one line for x, two lines for y, and this is just plus 4, so it's all alone, so I'm going to make just a squiggle mark. Then we have another x, and we have another y. So I am first going to deal with the x's. So we have positive 10x and negative 2x. So 10 minus 2, I'm going to get 8x. Alright? Now I'm going to deal with the y's. Negative 7y and negative y. So when we have two negatives, we add them together. We have a negative plus a negative, so it increases. So think of negative y as negative 1y. There's one of it. So we don't write the 1, just when we just have y, it means 1y. So negative 7y minus y, or minus 1y, we're going to get minus 8y, and then we're left with the 4, so we just have plus 4. There wasn't anything else that could simplify with the 4. So now we have simplified our original algebraic expression, and that is just simply how it's done. So you've got some pages to work on in your math journal. You've got a worksheet on the table. If you haven't done the worksheets for the past 2 days and you get done early, you need to complete those. So spend your time, you need to focus, and get the work done. And of course, as always, if you need help, please raise your hand. More than glad to help you. All right, I will see you in real life.